Well, hi there, this is DBT, and alright, it's time for another Khorus Micro Showcase on a Wednesday. And today, as you can see by the title, we're gonna be looking at the Possessed Soldier, or the Zombie Man, as you prefer to call it, the basic unit of Doom, and Doom 2, and Doom Eternal, and all that good stuff. Now, this is a monster that we have looked at before, so the reason why I'm bringing it back into the spotlight is because we just did an update on the sprites, as you can see on the thumbnail. Now, I guess I'll just show it to you so that we're on the same page. Now, I know that not everybody's a huge fan of this style of sprites, the ones that are more like model ripped and processed a little bit so that they don't look as bad as a regular model rip would. And I know that not everybody's a big fan of this, but like I said, this is pretty much the direction that the sprites are going for, and in fact, this dude as is pretty much the final version of the sprite. I'm really happy on how he's looking. There's a few more monsters like that I will eventually be showing up, but yeah, that's kind of where this is going. So I just wanted to be really straightforward about it, so as to not create more confusion as to, hey, but you said that the sprites were gonna be changing. You can rest assured this is pretty much what the monster is gonna be looking like. Now, bringing all the monsters to look like this is gonna take quite a while. It's quite the challenge, but the team is working really hard on this. The team shall be named at some other point, just not at the moment. But I do want to give some credits to the team that is working on this because it's pretty dope. Really good stuff that it's been done. So alright, that's as far as the sprites. Now, the behavior of this dude remains pretty much the same that you have seen before, except that the explosive attack now explodes a bit faster. You know how it stays in midair and then explodes? It used to be a bit longer. It was way longer even in D4G because that's where the code originally came from. But I decided to adjust it because that's closer to Doom Eternal, where these guys put a lot of pressure on you with that attack. So yeah, I just wanted this dude also to be like that. Now, that's not the only change that this guy suffer in regards to the behavior. He also now has a melee attack, so he'll be really happy to just come at your face and start smacking you because he feels like it. Now, this may not seem like a big deal, however, this might play out very interestingly in game, because remember that a lot of, this being the basic unit of Doom, there's some maps where a lot of these dudes are right in your face. So all of them having a melee attack is going to end up being quite the situation. Fortunately, you do have explosive attacks that don't hurt you, so you will be able to be exploding these dudes left and right, and you also have the blood punch. That's not the blood punch, this is the blood punch. So there's definitely ways for you to deal with a bunch of them quickly, but yeah, you don't want them to get too close because now that they can smack you, they're going to be a bit of a pain in the ass. Now, there's another change that I don't know if you noticed. I hope you did. If you didn't, then I did a good job, and if you did, I guess I also did a good job. That being the visual effects for the attacks. Now the attacks have a bit more particles, a bit more visual effects, and by a bit I do mean a bit, not too much. And I'll try to talk this as fast as possible about this topic because it ties to the overarching topic that I wanted to talk about, that being performance. If you know my old project, like really old projects like Eons of Death or Super Doom 3 Take 2 or the Ultimate Torment and Torture 2, those two last projects are not my projects per se, but I made a Take 2 version which enhances the visual effects by adding a ton of particles, a lot of smoke, a lot of everything. I've really been a fan of adding a ton of visual effects. I really have been. However, in the most recent two projects, aka D4G and QCD, I really have to dial that down because those projects were made to be as performant as possible, for them to perform as good as possible. So I really had to cut down on my taste for tons of little effects everywhere. And yeah, that was good for those projects. However, I just want to be really clear about this. This project, Khorus is not gonna perform at the same level that something like D4G did. And this is not only because of the effects, but it does have something to do with that. It has to do with just about any and everything that the mod needs to be doing at all times. All those little things that come towards you, a bunch of scripts and things that are running at all times. This makes the project much more heavy than D4G. So I thought, hey, if this is already heavier, and by much more heavy, I mean relative to the performance of D4G, this is not extremely heavy or like you're gonna need an incredibly powerful computer to run this, but comparatively speaking, this is heavier than D4G. So if the project was already going in this direction, it just felt wrong for me to be adding fancy stuff and not worry or not pay as much attention as the visual effects. Now, like I said, I'm adding some additional flair to the visual effects so that it looks a bit prettier. I'm not going overboard like in my old projects, but I do definitely want to, you know, add a bit of eye candy to it. But yeah, as a whole, the main thing that I wanted to talk about is precisely the fact that this project, I don't want people to believe that this is going to perform as good as D4T, and it only makes sense. D4T is a project that was made, what, like 4 years ago or something like that? It's been quite a while. It was made with the idea of performing good on mobile devices, and it did. It did what it was meant to do. However, this project is not like that. This is coming for new hardware. If you want to play it on your phone, that's going to be difficult. And that's one of the reasons why I didn't want to focus too much on that, because there's so many keybinds here. For the flame belch, for the grenade, for the other grenade, for switching this and the blood punch and this and that. There's so much stuff that I find it difficult to do all that on mobile, considering the incredible fast pace that this is that the mod plays at. So my intention is no longer for this to be, you know, primarily something for mobile. Now, you will be able to play it in mobile, don't worry about it, it's doable. How well will it play just based on how complex everything is? We'll see, that remains to be seen. Of course, I care about making it perform good, but I don't want to feel as restricted as I have been in other projects before. So yeah, I'm going for a little bit of a slightly higher visual fidelity, if that's really the term for it, as opposed to, you know, just making it look as simple as possible. So yeah, I think that's pretty much what I wanted to say. I guess I'll just try to summarize really quickly while we look at a corpse over here, because otherwise I can't focus. Yeah, the performance is gonna be not as good as D4T. That's on purpose, and for the love of God, all right? I know not everybody's like that. Most of you guys are not like this, but Jesus, every once in a while I to get the odd person here and there who goes like, let's say I'm talking, oh, Juicy Doom freezing, as usual. Yay. How nice for it to be freezing on a video where I'm talking about performance, right? But that's GC Doom, all right? In my hard drive, not the mod itself. It freezes with just about everything. But I can talk of whatever in these videos. I can explain my reasoning behind things and try to be really clear about it. And I still get people like, well, why don't you do it both ways? Why don't you add an option so that you have to work twice as much and delay the mod for twice as long? Because I want you to do it both ways. You can do it however you want, but I want you to do it this way, so do it. God, like I said, most of you are cool about this, but yeah, there's some people who really don't seem to understand that, asking like, hey, so you don't like it this way, right? But I do like it, so make it both ways and make it an option that I can toggle at any time. So like, come on, really? So yeah, I guess that's where I'm gonna leave it. Guys, thank you very much for the support on this thing. I'm taking I'm making a couple of changes based on IRL things that I gotta do, but that is opening a bit more opportunity for me to work on this. So I promise there's more stuff coming up pretty soon, and yeah, there's more sprites also to be shown because more stuff has been done. So I promise, good stuff coming, and that's actually why I released this on a Wednesday as opposed to a Monday, because I didn't have it ready on time, but I found the time to do it to have it ready for Wednesday. So there you go, new sprites, a bit better effects, a bit worse performance. There you have it. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you like this. Leave a comment, leave a like, and subscribe to the channel, visit my Twitch and all of that bullshit, and I'll see you on the next one. Until then, take care everybody and stay safe. Bye bye. Now, the real question is, will I get comments saying, well, why don't you make a version with very little effects for performance and a version with a ton of effects? You only have to work twice as much. It's fine, right? It's fine.